Have you ever felt like you're stuck in an endless loop of tweaking settings and regenerating images just to get the perfect result in Stable Diffusion? It's wild how much the tooling ecosystem has grown lately, with new features stacking up on the old ones, sometimes leaving us chasing the perfect prompt. That tweak, regenerate, repeat loop is satisfying, but the real magic happens when you dive into training your own models to follow your specific style. I remember faffing around with the old Koya training stacks, which went from simple scripts to full-blown interfaces, but they weren't exactly install and forget. Getting those environments set up, especially with platform quirks and dependencies on Windows versus WSL, felt like a part-time job all on its own. The biggest constant throughout this journey is image tagging, because let's be honest, those original LAION tags are pretty trashy by today's standards. Thankfully, the community stepped up with newer, specialized taggers and multimodal models that completely changed the captioning game. I started playing with Recognize Anything, a tool that uses image descriptions and a light LLM to create accurate tags for things it hasn't even seen before. The repo has a really useful GUI-style notebook, though you definitely need to follow the GitHub instructions carefully to get those checkpoints pulling from Hugging Face. What I did was customize the demo into a two-stage loop. First, RAMPlus spits out raw tags, and then Tag2Text turns them into grammatically correct captions. I set up my scripts to save these as text files right next to each image, so if I iterate on my prompts, I can just overwrite them later. Before running everything, I like to do a quick sanity check by reopening and converting every image to RGB to catch those corrupted files early. That little hygiene step saves me from having the whole batch job blow up halfway through, which is a total lifesaver. Another model I've been testing is BLIP-2 from Salesforce, which pairs a vision encoder with an OPT language model for some really impressive results. The full-size models are huge, but thanks to quantized weights, I can run the 2.7 billion parameter version on my modest 12 GB GPU without crashing. BLIP-2 is incredibly fast, and for better organization, I found that asking the model specific questions for each image works wonders for classification. You can ask things like, is this a human or an animal? And use those answers to filter your massive datasets down the road. I also experimented with Cosmos 2, which is another powerful multimodal model that runs significantly faster when you load it in 4-bit mode. While 4-bit mode tends to favor shorter keyword-style outputs, that's actually perfect for bulk training where you just need concise tags. But here is the really exciting part. What do you do with all that long-form content, those tutorials, and those training logs you've created? That is where Vizard becomes an absolute game changer, acting as a force multiplier for everything you've produced. Instead of spending hours manually scrubbing through screen captures, Vizard automatically finds those high-engagement viral moments for you. It turns your long-form footage into a library of ready-to-post clips almost instantly, letting you get the most value out of every single project. You can even set up your posting frequency with their auto-schedule, which queues clips to go live across your platforms without you having to babysit it. Manual editing or hiring an editor is just too expensive for small creators, but Vizard gives you that professional polish for a fraction of the cost. The workflow is seamless. You run your assets through captioning models, save the metadata, and let Vizard do the heavy lifting of clipping and scheduling. You can even use that metadata to automatically fill in your clip descriptions and hashtags, which is a massive time saver for discoverability. If you are processing big data sets, just remember to use progress bars and chunk your file lists so you can pause and resume whenever you need to. Also, keep those captions and simple text files next to your images. It makes them so much easier to version and edit later down the road. If your GPU is a little tight on memory, definitely try the 8-bit quantized weights first, and only jump to 4-bit if you really need that speed. Long story short, these multimodal captioning models are making the grunt work of AI fine-tuning so much easier than it used to be. But once you have the content, you need a streamlined way to turn those experiments and tutorials into a consistent social presence. Vizard provides that human-like editing and scheduling that actually lets you forget about the manual labor of posting. So, if you are like me and love geeking out over training models and creating content, give this pipeline a try. Generate your captions with the tools I mentioned. Let Vizard extract the highlights and watch your backlog turn into a steady stream of content. I'll link all the notebooks and repositories in the description so you can dive into this late-night tinkering yourself. If this was helpful, please hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more weird tutorial experiments. And if you want to stop spending half your time clipping videos, definitely give Vizard a spin. It might just be the automation boost you need. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep creating and stay human.